be fucked up if you didn't start the timer.
I did.
Okay.
Welcome back to your favorite podcast, A Couple Pints Pod.
Whoa,
Should
whoa,
open this before we started.
whoa, whoa. What's with the Band-Aid?
Oh, last week, when I was tripping, I tripped and fell on a box fan.
Oh,
in the dark.
Hey,
and sliced my finger pretty good.
Slow, I'm tripping. Am I actually falling?
I haven't seen my elbow. Maybe it healed. This one's bad though. This shit was so deep.
Did it go in the box fan?
I don't know. It was very dark. But I ate shit. And then I went into Olivia's room and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, Yeah, I'm fine. And she was like, "No, you're not." And I was
splatter.
Dripping blood down my whole fucking arm. So yeah, don't do drugs.
Watch out for box fans. They're tripping people everywhere.
And it's a black box fan. I was like, I couldn't avoid it if I wanted to.
If you wanted to, there's no in the dark. It's the ultimate camouflage.
Yeah.
Even if it's making noise.
And the living room has a blackout curtain
that we
had closed because some dude was staring through it, which thoroughly upset me because I was pretty high.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Were you? What?
She lives on the first floor, so I know it was like a real human
on
the sidewalk. Just looking through the window. I think he was tripping too, but he was like,
"Hey, why do I feel connected?"
And then I felt like someone was looking at me, so I looked over and I was like, we were staring at each other for 3 minutes, and Olivia was like, "What are you looking at?" I was like, "There's a dude watching us hang out." And then she went outside and yelled at him.
Hey, I've been watching a dude watch us hang out for the past 3 minutes.
So yeah, then the blackout curtain was closed. Then she laid down and was like, "Oh, I need the phone charger," which was plugged in next to the fan. And I ate shit.
And that's where it all went down.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the box fan almost claimed your fingertip.
Dude, high key though. It was a really deep cut.
Thing was out for blood.
So yeah, this week we're talking about some crazy shit. I've had the week off because my show shut down due to COVID. RIP.
Oh, no.
And so I
don't give us a strike, YouTube.
Been spending a lot of time on Hulu and YouTube and the like. And I found this Hulu show,
the streaming service
called
Hulu.
The Devil You Know.
Whoa.
And 2 seasons, really good docuseries. Shouts out Hulu for the Netflix quality documentaries. But season 2 is all about someone who kind of fits the bill. A woman named Sherry Shriner. She started out on radio, and then as podcasts developed, she started podcasting. But her whole story is she refuses to admit she's a conspiracy theorist.
Liar.
But her whole show is about how she is the messenger of God, and God tells her to relay messages to the real humans, and that 3 out of 4 people who walk the planet are reptilian alien clones who are sent here to destroy mankind. She thinks that the devil sent them here to begin a war. And she believes that the people who aren't real humans are mainly celebrities or people who don't express their belief in God. So both of us are reptilians in her mind.
Okay. Well, as the people,
and that's just the little fun facts.
So before we nosedive, everyone who watches this show knows that I am heavily conspiracy drawn.
Yeah.
The shit JMac told me, she believes some of the stuff you just heard. That's above me.
Yeah.
I never, ever, my mind has never gone there.
Well, like
Ever.
we've talked about it, like everyone knows that at this point it's a meme, like, oh, Hillary's a lizard.
We've talked
But
about
like this
clones.
woman genuinely believes that Hillary Clinton and like Lady Gaga and Justin Bieber, and those are like the top three she talks about the most, and Taylor Swift genuinely believes in her heart of hearts that God told her that those people are lizards sent here to begin a war with mankind.
No. No. No.
So eventually, this radio show
Gets better.
podcast became a cult, and she refuses to admit that. I think her exact quote, I didn't write it down, but she was on this like local news channel doing an interview, and the newscaster was like, so you're a cult leader? And she's like, no. If I was a cult leader, I would be rich and we'd all be in a mansion in the middle of the woods drinking the Kool-Aid. And she like laughed it off. However, I think she's a cult leader, and I say she's a cult leader, and I'm a proponent for her being a cult leader because mainly what we're going to talk about is two of her, as she calls them, her listeners. She calls her listeners her followers. It's a cult.
It's a cult.
She convinced two of them to kill themselves, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
Sick cult.
So I looked up, I started my research because I went full Kollin, if you couldn't tell.
JMac did it. He took a fucking dive. He went full.
Oh, right also as a cult. Her following right now on Facebook, she has 4,000 followers on Facebook and 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. And she died 3 years ago and still has those numbers. And her daughter runs the page now and like reposts like message of the day, and it's her in batshit fucking crazy rambling. So anyway, my research began with what is a cult leader? So insider.com has an article titled Attributes of a Cult Leader. There are three types of cult leaders. She's type 2, which is a preacher turned egomaniac.
Mm-hmm.
That checks out because she went to college to become a preacher, but then decided she liked preaching via the radio and eventually podcasting more. So super religious lady, grew up religious. So she is a preacher, turned egomaniac because she refuses to really look outside of herself and acknowledge the fact that she convinced two fucking people to kill themselves and brainwashed God knows how many others into genuinely believing that the world is run by reptiles and there is a war coming. So that's, point number one. She truly believed in the outlandish shit to the point where if you like in the comments section questioned her teachings, as she called them, as a cult, she would just ban you and like ruin you on the internet and send her followers after you, which leads to suicide number one that we'll get to.
I was going to say, if you want a reference point, what other religion is cult does that to the members that speak out or they kick out? Scientology.
Yeah, true.
It's a cult.
It's a cult. And the last thing that makes her a cult leader is, like Manson, she refuses to admit guilt or association with the murders that have happened based off shit that she said. So like Charles Manson's whole thing was like, well, I didn't kill those people. And they were like, but you made other people kill those people. And he was like, I didn't make them do anything.
I don't know.
They chose to do that. So she's saying the same thing here. So
Guilty.
Death number one was this dude named Steven. I'm going to leave everyone's full names out of this, out of respect to them. So Steven was a personal friend of Sherry and one of her followers who often referred to her as his mother figure. After learning from Sherry, he became a semi-famous conspiracy theorist on YouTube. So eventually, via Sherry's Facebook group, Steven meets a lady named Barbara. And eventually Barbara is excommunicated from the page. And Barbara was kicked out after she had already met and moved in with Steven. And an important point to the story is they lived in the Poconos, like in the middle of fucking nowhere. So
It's a cult.
no, Barbara and Steven did. Sherry lived in like some fucking cow town, as she refers to it.
Oh, I'm just
in
gonna
Ohio.
I'm gonna keep reiterating that
Essicle.
the whole exactly.
So Sherry begins to drag fucking Barb on her show and like through posts on Facebook saying that Barb was a demon reptilian who was ruining the purity of mankind and her son, Steven.
Oh, yeah, checks out.
All because Barb disagreed with Sherry once. My personal theory is Sherry thinks that Barb like stole Steven from her. There's some weird underlying romance there
We got
that
a love
I don't even
triangle?
think, no, because I don't think Steve thought of Barb that. I mean, Steve thought of Sherry that way. But once like he started fucking around with Barb, like Sherry went downhill quick. So Steve starts to get mad at Sherry because he's like, stop dragging my wife on Facebook. At this point, they're married.
Uh-oh.
And Sherry and her followers are just like cyberbullying. And then Sherry leaked his address and they're mailing like death threats and shit to their house.
What the fuck?
So Sherry went like full fucking cult leader, like, let's get these people.
Get them.
For disagreeing with me. And she genuinely convinced 30,000 people that Barb was a fucking demon. Oh yeah, and fun fact, Steve and Barb were both severely mentally ill. Steve was undiagnosed. Barb was severely bipolar. She was discharged from the military for being as bipolar as she was. So Sherry used her power to create animosity between the two. And it literally drove Steven insane because, like I said, he was mentally ill. So everything comes to a boil. Steve decides he wants to kill himself, but he's scared if he does that God will reject him from heaven. Barb has no idea of any of this. So Sherry and now Steve's best friend are both telling Steve Barb's a demon. And
oh my God.
Now Steve's just like, I don't want to be here anymore. And good thing for Steve, he was also a fucking gun enthusiast because he lived in the middle of nowhere. So like his neighbor was like, yeah, he'd go out in the woods like shooting all the time, like cans and shit, whatever. So finally, Steve tells Barb that he wants to go shooting in the yard to relieve the stress of all this. Barb joins him. Steve's like just blasting away into the woods in like the middle of the night. And he tries to get Barb to join. Barb was like, no, I'm tired. We've been drinking. I'm drunk. I don't want to like make like accidentally hurt someone. I'm good. So Barb goes inside to like lay down. Steve comes inside and like, according to Barb, who's still very much alive and has like done interviews from, oh, I don't want to spoil it. So
Okay.
Steve brings Barb inside and he begs Barb to take the gun and kill him. And Barb's like, no, I love you. Like, I'm not going to kill you. Like, why would I do that? And also, if I kill you, then I have to go to prison. And Steve's like, come on, I need to escape and meet the creator. And Barb refuses once again. So Steve gets on his knees and starts begging her. And while he's begging her, he takes her hands and forces the gun into her hands. Then he is holding the gun. So like if this is the barrel of the gun, Barb's holding it, and then Steve pushes it to his head and fucking uses his thumb to pull the trigger and fucking kills himself. But Barb was holding the gun. So all the interviews she did and the testimony she has are from prison because the police don't believe Barb, who's mentally ill, that Steve was holding the gun.
Oh my God.
And forced her to pull the trigger.
Oh my God.
So
holy shit.
Then Barb calls the police and she's like, my boyfriend just killed himself, this, that, and the other thing. And after investigating, the police are like, dude, you killed him. And she was like, no, I didn't. Then they interrogate her for like 10 hours straight.
Of course they do.
As every good interrogation of a murder mystery docuseries goes, by the end of it,
deprive them.
By the end of it, Barb's like, yeah, fine, I did it. And she's still in prison.
Put me
and
out
this
of my
was
misery.
like, this was like 6 years ago.
Oh.
So,
oh, whoa. Wow.
the most fucked up part is that Barb's lawyers found a ballistics expert who proved that there's no way Barb could have shot Steve based off like the angles and the fact that the cartridge was still in the pistol, like it never expelled. So he did like tons of testing and proved that Steve had to have been holding the Glock for the whatever I said cartridge to not expel, like that specific model or whatever. So Barb's still in prison. Steve's dead. Sherry goes on to publish a very detailed like manifesto of exactly what happened that night and claims that God showed her the murder in her dreams. The media gets a hold of it, and for some reason, everyone believes Sherry,
Sickle.
even though she was like 3 states away, wasn't talking to Steve. But Sherry goes on
to me in my dream
Yeah,
and showed me.
Sherry goes on to on her platform that has a shitload of followers be like, yeah, and then like Barb knocked out Steve in the yard and dragged him inside by his hair, and when he came to was holding the gun to his head and forced him onto his knees and said, I've been sent here by the devil to kill you, and blew his fucking brains out, and that's how Steve died, like RIP Steve. Now we got to take care of Barb, and like six the fucking cult on her again, but she's in prison, so they can't do anything.
Oh, wow.
And for some reason, the media and the government were like, yeah, Sherry's probably right.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
So Sherry did that.
Ooh.
Then death number 2, and then I want to hear all your thoughts about this. This one's
evil cult leader.
This one's shorter.
I had nothing to do with it.
So death number 2, I don't know why they didn't do it chronologically. This happened before the whole Steve thing, but this is just wild. I mean, Sherry's less guilty in this one, but it's still fucked up. So
Still a cult.
Sherry, one of her followers, Kelly, was the first death. It was never connected until years later after Steve's death, once the government was like, okay, wait, maybe we should. This was like recently that they figured out that these things were connected, like 2017, 2018, like right before Sherry died. Oh yeah, Sherry's dead, if I didn't say that. So Kelly's like a normal fucking girl. She's like our age, like late teens, early 20s.
This is fucking crazy.
Plenty of great friends who all say like, yeah, she was really normal. Like we'd all hang out, and like they were all like kind of nerdy, so they were into more like kind of, I guess, shit like this in a sense, like aliens and fucking,
in a way.
they'd all like play D&D together and shit.
Okay, we don't do that, but
Yeah, but
I'd kick your ass in D&D though.
long story short, no, you wouldn't. Kelly's like a normal, just fucking kid. And so Kelly found Sherry on Facebook, and like became, all her friends were like, it was unhealthy how much Kelly liked this woman. And like, she turned her friends onto it, and all her friends were like, I mean, she's fucking weird. Like none of the shit, none of the shit she's saying true, right? And Kelly was like, yeah, haha, yeah, sure.
I know it's not.
So after like months of trying to get her
true.
friends to become followers, and months of her like telling people, like they'd have like, when you get high and you're like, yo bro, aliens, man, like they'd have those conversations, but Kelly would take it way too fucking far and start talking about how like they're already here and the government has deals with them to where they can harvest the real humans in exchange for technologies to advance our reptilian race here on Earth.
That's where she took it too far.
Yeah, so Kelly's losing her fucking mind. And then one day she goes missing in a blizzard, and the next day some Stand By Me, shouts out Stand By Me, the movie and the book and the song, some Stand By Me ass shit happens where these group of kids are like playing in the woods after this blizzard, and they find Kelly's dead body frozen, sitting crisscross applesauce, like meditating. All of her clothes they found later, once like they dug around in the snow, all of her clothes were folded up next to her. She had like a wife beater and underwear on. and a box of empty sleeping pills. So they don't know if she died from hypothermia or an overdose, but either way, she's frozen in the woods. After investigation, they deemed it was a suicide due to a note left in her parents' car that she stole to get to where she decided was the best place to fucking kill herself. She didn't think she was killing herself, though. So the note read,
how is it tie back?
This is super fucked up. The note read, Mom and Dad, I have been caught. I literally paused it and wrote in my notebook what the actual note on the screen said. Mom and Dad, I have been called upon by a prophet speaking for the Father himself. I must go and relay a message from the prophet to the Father. I don't know when I'll be back, but I'll see you soon. P.S. Sorry about the car. Smiley face. Kelly. Long and sad story short, Sherry convinced Kelly to kill herself to relay a message for Sherry, because Sherry's the self-proclaimed prophet. So then
a lady who can talk to God is telling another lady, you have to go talk to God for me.
Yeah. So Kelly genuinely believed that based off Sherry's words, she would return from her journey to deliver a message to Father, whoever that is. The death was never linked to Sherry, as her name was never directly mentioned. It was just the prophet. So then after years, and a slip up from Sherry on her show that mentioned Kelly, no one knew that Sherry was the prophet and no legal action was ever taken. Sherry went on to spew bullshit until her death in 2018. And now her daughter runs a page, which at the beginning I said has 5,000 on Facebook and 30,000 on YouTube.
Unbelievable.
And the police never took action because they couldn't find the soundbite, which Hulu did. It's on the documentary, like exactly what Sherry refused to admit that she was telling people to kill themselves, but literally in an episode was like, I need you guys to like go on to the next plane to relay a message for me to the Father. And that's why fucking Kelly killed herself. But it wasn't until after Sherry died that anyone important pieced all that together.
Oh my God. I don't. Oh my God.
So yeah, don't join cults, kids.
Don't. Oh.
It's just conspiracy to a whole nother level, bro. And it is on
their right mind.
It is on Steve.
Not ever think for a second that this is not a cult.
Yeah, and it is on Steve and Kelly for killing themselves. Like, hey, just don't,
Yeah, like that. We're sorry it happened for the families, but it's not. They did it.
It was their choice.
They decided.
But I just can't believe like the fucking power this woman has over people. Like some people just have that, and it's usually really crazy people, but like it's insane that this woman was just like, I am the voice of God. If you don't listen to me, you're going to die in the war against the reptilians. And tons of normal people were like, oh, that checks out. Because then in the documentary, I was telling you before we hit record, they had one of her ex followers on, and he got excommunicated because she said something about Trump and he was a liberal. That's how recent this shit was. She did some Trump China thing, and he was like, hey, like maybe, you know, that's not the truest thing. And she kicked him out of the cult and like dragged him on Facebook, like same shit as Steve. And Hulu interviewed him. And then one of the producers at one point was like, but you believe in all the reptiles and shit? And he was like, yeah, how can you question my beliefs? And like packed his shit up and left.
Oh my God.
Because he got really offended that a producer on Hulu, once he started to seem normal, was like, but the rest of it you're okay with. And he was like, absolutely. How could you not believe? Like, I can't believe that there are human beings, maybe they're the reptiles, who genuinely believe in this shit.
Yeah. Maybe they're the ones who are trying to get it so haywire and so crazy that they can be like, well, we can kind of just step into place here. But here's an exercise. Here's an exercise. I get a mass following of people, a mass following. They take everything I say, and some of them believe it, some of them do it.
Yeah.
if from an outside view, what would you call that?
It's a cult. It's a cult.
It's a cult. How could any authority ever believe that this is anything but that? How can they look at this and be like, checks the box?
Dude, it's just
Kind of seems like a
insane.
random Facebook page. Thanks, Zuckerberg.
Yeah, it's just fucking
Thanks,
crazy.
Mark.
At how many people would like listen to this? Like government officials in a legitimate fucking court case listen to this shit, saw the shit on Facebook, saw what she was doing to Steve, and we're like, but she kind of has a point.
You know, this lady, I see what she's saying, and it kind of sounds like she may be able to talk to God. So Yankees 6, Red Sox 7. Let's move this on.
Yeah,
Bottom
basically,
of the 8th.
it's fucking crazy that she gained as much traction as she did and literally killed multiple people. And the documentary ends. This was because I had like 2 episodes left when I took these notes. The documentary ends with there's like a bunch of other people that followed her that like killed themselves, but there's no direct link to Sherry. So then the producer, like the final shot of the documentary is the producer sits down and he's like, I think this is just a lot of mentally ill people meeting in one place and like convincing themselves of a false reality. But also like,
Kind of sounds like the school for the X-Men.
Yeah. Like if Sherry was just like aware of her reach and her ability to make people fucking kill themselves, maybe she would have like toned it back a little bit. Because then at one point they're talking to one of like her best friends or her ex-boyfriend from college, this dude, and he's like, yeah, Sherry was super normal, like, and he's like, I'm a devout Christian, I believe in God, I believe in, you know, going to heaven and spreading God's word and God's love. But he's like, Sherry takes it to like a demonic level, like the shit she says is not Christian. And like he's like, this is not the Sherry I knew in college. I don't know what happened to her, but like,
yeah, wouldn't the people that call themselves devout Christians look at the word she's saying and realize that the only beings that aid in your secular life to give you something are demonic because the higher presences will never alter with your life?
I don't know.
I mean, come on. If you call yourself religious, that's kind of fucking basic knowledge.
I mean, it all breaks down to,
Come on.
It all breaks down to
only demons help you with everyday life. Higher spirits, higher beings will only aid you on a path. They'll never help you with every fucking day wealth and bullshit that goes on. It's a cult.
You're starting to sound like a follower. It all breaks down to
but I'm not part. It's a cult.
Yeah. It's fucked up to like blame the entire thing on this, but it really all does break down to like the algorithm. Like
that is
YouTube
true.
And Facebook latched onto people who wanted to see this shit.
Thanks,
and then
Zuckerberg.
After years and years and years of listening to this woman, I guess something clicked and they were like, yep, must be true.
Yeah, but we have a strike for nanobots.
I know.
We have a strike for nanobots, and this was publicly promoted.
Yeah, none of our 4 followers, shouts out Mike and Nick and us too,
Woo!
have ever killed themselves.
What? Come on. Oh, it's finally going?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I just wanted to tell that story.
Oh my God.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
It's insane, and my heart goes out.
Like, I don't even know. I think I just wanted to sit down and tell you the story instead of telling you through text. And that's what this episode is.
This was the story and everything that happened within the story, terrible. But you telling me the story and the way you relate it to everyone who watches this, fantastic.
But also, hey, like, don't dive too deep. We need you around, buddy.
Like, hey, if I were
how far would something have to go for you to kill yourself? Conspiracy wise?
Nowhere.
Okay, cool.
I wouldn't.
Just wanted to make sure.
The second, here's a perspective. I'm watching the app Gaia.
What?
And you know the app I have, Gaia.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Gaia, if anyone from Gaia ever watches this, never saying you would do it, but let's say there's a series I watch on there. There's a person I really, really like.
But also, once again, for the viewers at home, Gaia is like a conspiracy
Yeah,
app, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And they start saying, if you want to reach the higher level, if you want to be able to see the higher beings and reach the other dimension, then on this date, you have to go outside and, let's say, put a beer funnel in your mouth and pour bleach down it.
Yeah.
I would immediately delete that app,
Yeah.
try and find that person on any other social media they have, email them, contact them, message them, however I can, and say, you are batshit crazy.
Yeah.
You are batshit crazy. Come on, just take some shrooms. They're right next to you.
But also, like, I can't.
Take some DMT. You'll talk to him. You don't need to fucking kill yourself.
I just really can't believe that, like, so many fucking people follow and genuinely believe this shit. And, like, her followers are still posting to her Facebook. She's been dead for 3 years, and people are still posting on her wall, like, hey, Sherry, what do you think about this?
Pretty specific crew, then.
I mean, like I mentioned, her daughter is still running the page, like posting things, but it's very clear that it's not Sherry. And people are posting, like, I fucking have it open because it's absurd.
I'm surprised her daughter has yet to say, I've done the secret ritual and let my mother possess my body so
Like,
I can
so
talk
this
to the rest
guy-
of you and spread her word.
This guy, Hampton Hensley, stupid fuck, posted 2 hours ago.
Oh my God.
This is what Father is leading his people to, his real calendar and the importance of real new moon. Study and ask Father for yourself. Satan has been very deceptive and didn't think we would figure out the real dates of Father's feast and the real Sabbath. If you remember, Sherry often talked about how our calendars were amiss, and she talked about how the moon had been hijacked. We misinterpreted this as being they took over the moon like a base, when in reality they hijacked and changed the moon. The new moon should be the full moon. It's crucially important because if you don't have a new moon day correct, you can't have a Sabbath day correct, and all of your feast will be wrong. Father made the sun and the moon, and they both have I'm getting goosebumps reading this. I cannot believe someone posted this today. This is fucking gold. Sherry taught us how to have our own relationship with. Oh yeah, also the God they're all worshiping isn't God, even though they're all devout Christians. It's this thing called Yah.
Yah is another word for God, but it's not the Christian God.
And just because she didn't figure it out herself when she was here doesn't mean Father wants us to ignore it. I believe it's a test to see if we love Father and to serve Father. I know in my heart, if Sherry was present with this, she would. Holy shit, that's not even a sentence. I know in my heart, if Sherry was presented with this, she would have seen it as truth. But this is our test. Sherry was focused on Argon War and a million other things, and she was just one person. She taught us well, and we owe her great honor for what she did. Satan wants us to keep in his pagan calendars and Sabbath. So I challenge everyone to study this and come to your own conclusion. It's really quite amazing, and this is something he's showing his people in these last hours because he wants us following it. His real calendar connects us with him on a much higher level, and it's extremely important. I'm excited to take stand and make change, and I humbly ask for forgiveness for following the wrong pagan man-made calendar. You know he isn't upset about the past, but if you're presented with truth and you don't accept it and make the change, then that's between you and him. I pray each and every one of you who read this take time to check it out. And then there's 12 pictures of the creator's calendar with the dates corrected. So let's see. Is this August? No, this is September.
So
wait, September's the 5th month now.
Okay.
Welcome to fucking May.
Here's another thing. If they were true Christians and they actually believed in the Bible, they would understand that even those who don't believe in this, even those who believe this is absolutely complete bullshit, when they get to heaven and they are met with God, he will still accept him into their kingdom because he loves all his children.
Dude, yesterday
It's a cult.
Yesterday, this woman, Beverly Nelson, just put, I'm not even going to fucking read it, this long ass quote of Sherry's about, let's see if I can get a gist.
I went to Catholic school to become a preacher, so now I talk to
Like
God.
it
and I
literally
can
ends.
just
You know what?
pick
Fuck it.
everything
We're
he
gonna
says.
no, we're not gonna put it in whatever.
This
It
is literally
ends
the
with
intro to Star Wars.
it
Holy
ends with
crap.
Sherry Shriner, August 5th. Shouts out my birthday, 2013. And you see, that's what the Lord does. He assigns his people. His people don't understand how he works.
Huh.
That's how it starts.
Huh.
Then she says, priests are wrong.
What is?
Everyone's assigned to their own task, and her task was to spread the word of Yah.
Huh. You know what? I'm just gonna look up right now so our listeners can
And
see
then
what
she
Yah is
goes
like.
in to say that, yeah, then she goes back and says her task is to spread the word of Yah and fight the lizard people, well, reptilians. Jesus fucking Christ. This is insane. Then let's see. Oh my God, this is gold. Clara Michelle on August 17th put COVID spelled backwards with this emoji. So I guess if you type into Google on your shitty Android phone, Devok meaning, the meaning of the name Devok is possession of an evil spirit and is of Hebrew origin. Devok means in Latin, break up, sunder, or disrupt, divide, tear away, open apart, tear in pieces into. And then the one comment from Sharonda New Day Johnson says, I'm sharing. Wow, with a bunch of these emojis.
It looks like this lady took a bunch of different religions and brought them all into one, trying to say that she was the communicator with the one, because Yah or Yah, Jah or Yah, is the Hebrew way of saying God.
That's
Or
interesting.
Yahweh, which is
Oh,
the ancient Israelite
okay, yeah,
way.
I've heard Yahweh.
So they're
J. Cole shouts out Yahweh.
yeah,
on,
they're literally taking different religions,
something.
bringing it into one, and being like,
Wow, I just understood a J. Cole line that's very layered and impressive.
Shout out to Yahweh.
Yeah.
We coming all Yahweh.
Or shout up to this guy that we sending him Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, look.
Go J. Cole.
June 28th. Shouts out my sister's birthday. Former KGB been replaced by deep state Russia. And it's a bunch of different pictures of Putin from the last like 50 fucking years and why he's a reptilian, because he had plastic surgery.
I was going to say, don't they understand how long he's been in power? Obviously, he's going to look different.
No, that's the issue with these people. And if you're one of the listeners, if you share this,
yeah, share it,
comment, make friends in the comments,
do it.
Just
excuse me,
fucking fondle that like button and
go down there. See that subscribe button?
Take the bell out to dinner so you never miss another episode.
See that subscribe?
Because obviously you're easily manipulated. Me just saying that should make you a fan, right?
I talked to God, and God told me you should go down to that and touch the subscribe button. Just touch it. Touch it with your toes.
Yah said leave a comment because it's good for the algorithm.
Take that subscribe button and dip your toe into it. See how you're feeling. I got a message from above.
Fucking baptize yourself in the comment section.
Take yourself and dip into the river of the subscribe button.
Offer your tides and greetings to the fucking bell notifications. Dude, oh wait. One last question and then we'll wrap it out because we're at 40 minutes. So you know the would you rather fight like 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
Yeah.
Would you rather fight 100 Sherry Shriner followers or one reptilian demon sent by the devil himself to destroy mankind?
I can take down the demon.
I just want to beat the shit out of these stupid fucks. So I think I'd fight 100 middle-aged Bible Belt weirdos who think that 3 out of 4 humans aren't humans.
You ever see
Also, wait. Let's do the fucking math. If Sherry Shriner is correct, and
if
3 out of 4 humans isn't human,
oh,
then
here we
that
go.
means out of her followers. So out of her followers, that means. Oh wait, I did the math wrong. 3, 4, 6, 9.
3, 4, 6, 9.
That means out of her 3,469, 69 followers, 870 of them are reptiles. If she's correct. So also there's that.
Come on, Sherry. The math isn't adding up here. Yankees 6, Red Sox 7, down in the bottom of the 8th.
And that's a home run to fucking Crazy Town.
And that's a grand slam into the psychiatric ward for Sherry Smith.
Dude.
She is
Sherry Shriner.
Sherry Shriner, cult leader, right into the psych ward.
Her fucking Facebook,
It's a cult.
You know how it has like your employment and shit and like where you went to college and your relationship status. So hers is, her employment is daughter, servant, friend, warrior, messenger at the Most High. And then it says right under it, studied journalism, political science, and criminal justice at Kent State University, which is what she actually went to college for. And there is no way this crazy bitch is married. And then her connected websites are sherryshriner.com, which I tried to go to before we hit record. Doesn't work. Thewatcherflies.com. Let's see if that takes us anywhere. Theywantyouddead.com. OregonBlasters.com. We didn't even talk about that.
Oregon Blasters?
Do you know what Oregon is?
The state?
Yeah, none of these websites work. No. Oh, that's what they called themselves, was the Oregon Warriors, or ORGONE. And it's a made up fucking element that was presented by Yah to help the real humans fight the reptilians. And what it is, because one of Kelly's friends, like one of the level-headed ones, was like, yeah, she gave me Oregon once. And I was like, Kelly, you realize this is fucking like, it was like kind of like the mold of Breeze soaps, like that cone-ish shape. Shouts out.
We're going to say it was Play-Doh.
No, shouts out Maple Street Matriarchs.
Maple Street Matriarchs.
It kind of looked like, and I don't want to associate them with Oregon, but it was like the same mold.
Yeah.
And it's like a silicone puck with like bronze glittery kind of color to it, and then aluminum shrapnel in it.
Yummy.
And it looks like interesting, but these people genuinely believe that these blatantly very poorly made pucks of garbage would give them the power to defeat the reptilians, and they like worship this shit. And it's like a real thing. Like you can like buy it online.
This is our glowing green rock. It gives us power to desecrate our enemies.
Yeah, look, I'll fucking, should we buy some? The ultimate 5G Oregon giant cloud buster, $4,000 on Etsy.
Okay. I believe in
Wait,
crystals.
this is what it looks like. I'll put a picture in.
This?
I'll put a picture in right here.
Yeah.
This is what this looks like. It's fucking ridiculous. Can you believe this shit? How do we even begin to unpack this shit?
If
seriously,
anyone watching this understands crystals and can shed some light on this,
look at that. It's literally garbage.
How can this do anything? That is, what is that gonna do?
Give you the power to defeat the reptilians. Duh, idiot.
Oh my.
Don't be such a fucking idiot, Carl.
Bro, this is literally like the stories of how people would wear garlic knots around their neck to defeat vampires. That is exactly what that is.
Yes.
Are you serious?
I mean, yeah.
It's a cult.
Yeah.
Bro,
That's the ultimate takeaway. I think we wrap this one up. We also have to double record this week. So my apologies for wearing the same outfit 2 weeks in a row. It's actually just like 20
I'm gonna
minutes
be in
apart.
something different.
You want to lend me a shirt? I'll cut this whole part out.
Can you not scratch the wall, please? You what? You know what? Here, hold on.
Should we just? Let's just wrap it up and start the next episode.
This is Loki, the studio cat. Loki, would you like to say anything to our listeners?
It'd be so cool if he actually meowed right now.
Okay, so that is a fat no, and he's
Bye.
off. So this has been
A couple pints pod.
safe to say.
Don't join a cult.
Please don't. Please don't.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.